Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story TV and the Her Story podcast. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And I am blessed with the presence of yet another fascinating lady. Welcome to our tribe. Please introduce yourself, tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Thank you, Gertrude. Thanks very much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Jesca Maas. I am in Noosa, Australia, and I am 57 years old. So my story. I was born and grew up in the Netherlands and came to Australia as a backpacker when I was in my mid-20s. I loved it so much that I stayed. And, well, let's just fast forward in time. And I've done all sorts of things in my life, really. As I was a single mother, I was really adjusting my what I was doing to generate income to be able to pick up my son from school and do all that. And anyway, so lots of different things. But what's always been there as a steady passion was the being passionate about healthy lifestyle and healthy living. I absolutely love nature and I love good food. And over time, I've learned a lot. I suppose my mother, she was also passionate about good food, and she got into homeopathy, which actually turned my life around when I was in my teens and I got glandular fever and I had these very, very big glands and they wouldn't go down and I thought I was going to suffocate, and the homeopathics actually turned things around for me. So that got me very interested in an alternative side of things as well. Alternative health, natural health. So healthy living, and I ended up as an event manager, which was quite a stressful job. I absolutely loved it. I had a lot of fun with that. But what ended up being is that I suddenly came out with a tremendous skin rash. This is a few years ago now. I would say it's probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And this skin rash was something the doctor said I had to learn to live with because I was an older woman. And I thought, well, that doesn't sit well with me. I need to look further into this. I could use a very, very toxic cream, and I had to use that for the rest of my life. So I was like, no, I need to dig further into this because I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. And so here came the detox, and together with guided by a naturopath. And it was fascinating. I always thought I ate very healthily. Turned out I didn't really, even though I was very much into fruit and vegetables. I also had a lot of pasta and a lot of bread and all sorts of things like that. So lived in an area where there was a lot of good food. So yeah, great bread, but lots of it. Now, anyway, so I learned a lot going through that 6-week detox. And from there on, I embraced the non-processed foods journey. The skin rash almost disappeared. I say almost, and it came and went. And I became obsessed with how that was for me and why. And I was obsessed with, is it something I just ate? Is it something I just had in a drink? Was it this or was it that? And actually it was driving me crazy. Now that went on for years. I sort of settled down a bit and tried to live with it because I just couldn't work it out, as I really eliminated anything that was processed, anything chemical, so I thought, from my diet. Even the skin creams became very, very natural, and anything that I put on my skin. So then not so long ago, probably just over a year ago, actually the skin rash disappeared. I was like, well, what just happened? And really there was something subliminal, something that I was not aware of in my conscious mind that had been creating a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
And that, there you go. And that's what happened. And so that's when I started to look into how stress affects the body. And so now, as I specialized then in integrative nutrition, which is holistic health. And this is how I now help people to overcome issues. And it's very much related to stress management. Where does the stress come from? And seeing that stress is so often the cause of not feeling well, to say.
Man, so you have a passion for helping women take their energy and their health back. A lot of times we just get so caught up in life. We're mothers, we're wives, we're aunts, we're caregivers. We're constantly giving of ourselves, and we don't actually even realize how much stress we are experiencing at any given time. And it sounds to me like that's what happened to you. The skin condition was your body saying, hey, something is not quite right. And you just weren't tuned in enough to listen to that, correct?
That's correct. Absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think sometimes we may be aware of it, but we don't want to know about it and we put it away. And so, yeah, of course, we do look at food, of course, and nutrition, but if you've got that pretty much sorted, then, it's looking at the whole package, isn't it? It's what you put in your mouth, what you put in your body, but also what are you doing with your heart and your mind, and all that works together.
I absolutely love this. Now, right now, people are struggling health-wise. People are stuck at home. These lockdowns have meant that the so-called normal lifestyle doesn't quite exist. And so we're all chunking on a lot of weight. What advice would you give people, in the current situation the world is in, daily practices that one can engage in to try and reclaim your health? What suggestions do you have? Give us 3.
Okay. 1 is do not look at your phone in the first hour of the day. Keep it away. Because it's so tempting to look at your phone and you just get flooded with all these messages. There can be great messages from your friends, but it can also be stuff that's actually stressful. And whatever that might be, it actually takes your focus away and clarity of mind. You just get cluttered like that. Whilst if you use that first hour of the day to actually focus on your breath, whether you're into meditation or not, you can meditate for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or if meditation is not yet your thing or not your thing, just focus on your breath for 5 minutes. Breathing is so important. We all see that as such a natural thing, but many of us are so shallow breathers, and that then has a whole load of other effects flowing on from that is not good for your health. So you focus on your breath, and really what I do is I really feel the breath going in my nose and then going into my body and breathing out and feeling it coming out, and just really feeling it. That tends to focus me very, very well. So that first hour, put it on yourself and maybe do some reading, or listen to I mean, that gets you close to your phone, but do some reading. Personal development, maybe some growth, or somebody that really inspires you, something very positive. I also love going for a walk in nature. So if you can do that, but not everybody can do that right now.
Yes.
So
wow.
That's those things, and of course focusing on good nutrition. I know we tend to, when it's stressful, we might get the packet of biscuits or the chocolate or maybe an extra glass of wine. try and think that this, you know, doesn't actually help you so much. It may numb your feeling of not feeling that good, but it may also just numb your feeling of joy when it comes along. So it's sort of so really think of that as well. Look after your body. Look after your body, so then when you actually keep your energy levels up and can do and be there for your kids and be there for your family rather than sinking low.
I love that. So going forwards, you know, especially the older women going into our 50s, we're experiencing all kinds of hormonal changes. I mean, I've felt that myself. I used to be able just to imagine my weight. If I gained weight, I could literally think I'm going to lose weight. And within the week, I've lost a few kilos. Not anymore. With menopause, we have more problems in terms of weight loss. I'm told that there's certain foods one can focus on to help with that. What advice would you give to the older woman who's really trying the best she can, but it's just not working?
Oh, that is a very personal thing, I must say. I think there is stress related with that. Breathing, being able to take time out for yourself, because we tend to just spread ourselves out all over the place. And exercise is very, very important. And I know there's a lot of women just exercising like crazy and maybe eating really well, but have you looked at the other side of other areas of your life, whether that is your friendships, your love? Are you feeling loved? Do you feel that you have a purpose in life? Is your finance okay? Are you fearful of anything? All those affect your weight. Yes. So, and of course there is that hormonal balance that comes from all that as well, that if you're stressed, that also gets whacked out. Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, these are very, very interesting times we're living through. And really your health is your wealth. Unless you are healthy, you can't really enjoy life to the full. And one really has to be very cognitive of that. So let's take you now into your future. I know we have to prepare for old age. I know bone density is a big issue for most women. What tips, what ideas can you give us to live a long and healthy life?
Thank you for asking me that, because I'm so passionate about that. And so it really is very, I think if we realize how much we expose our bodies to toxins and what effect that has on our body, if we are aware of that, then we can start to look at eliminating them. Yes. Because it has been proven through research that these toxins are actually what debilitates us, that is actually leading to, you know, all those conditions that gets us to be in nursing homes, or that we need high levels of care in the last 10 to 15 years of our lives, and that we have to be on a lot of medication. So we can look at that and how to eliminate those toxins, and that's where, of course, I can come in and guide you with that. But a very simple trick is, of course, looking at the labels, and if the labels have something on it that you can't even pronounce, then it's pretty clearly been through a process and all sorts of been tampered with. Whilst if you look at a vegetable that is just straight out of the ground or from maybe hydroponic, then that's a vegetable, right? It may have some spray on it, and of course you're trying to avoid that, and you're trying to avoid the genetic modified vegetables. But apart from that, if you stick to real food, you're doing really well. Now, I want to say is that, you know, we don't want to be party poopers either. It's like, yeah, you know, you may go somewhere and you get offered some food, and to always have to say no, 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 no. It may be okay for your body, but then you get stressed because you're upset, and you don't want to upset them, and you don't want to upset yourself, and you actually like it. So it's to not to be addicted to that stuff, but to every now and again to be able to enjoy that. Of course, that's so important as well. So it's just finding that.
Yeah. Okay. Finding a balance there somewhere. Now, I remember reading a post that you had online a while back where you talked about not all stress is bad.
Yeah.
Let's go into that a little bit. What do you mean?
Okay. For example, well, you are planning your wedding. That can be a great thing. It's joyful.
Yes.
So it may be stressing you out a bit, but on the other hand, it's really joyful. So that's one example.
I have
Also,
to say, one example for me would be when I'm working on a project and I've got a deadline. That stress, that adrenaline to meet that goal is really quite thrilling for me. It stresses other people out, but I get a lot done when I'm under pressure.
yes, so do I very much love that too. And when you know where you're going, but of course it's important that it doesn't take a very, very long time, because if that starts to become, it goes for months and months and months, that's when you start
Yes.
to wear your body out. So be careful with that.
Oh man, life can be interesting. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming online today and sharing all of these nuggets of wisdom with us. My last question for you is this. If time was an illusion and time didn't exist and your past, your present, your future existed in the same timeline, and I could teleport you into the future to the 100-year-old you, healthy, vibrant grandmother, great grandmother, sitting in a rocking chair with your children and your grandchildren, what would you say to this amazing woman who's lived such a healthy life?
What would I say to me?
Yes, to the future you.
Well done. Well done. I'm so proud of you.
I love
and
that.
and yeah, it's what a joy that is. And don't we all want to end our lives like that, to be able to be part of our community, to be able to still contribute in some sense to our family and to our community, and to be able to impart our knowledge to the younger ones. Oh, how joyful is that? And to be able to, of course, it slows down in the last few years, but to still be able to participate. How joyful.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming online and sharing your nuggets of wisdom with our community. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another fascinating guest. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And thank you again so much for this interview.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody.